So continuing on with just our wave properties, one property of all objects is called natural frequency. And the natural frequency is the frequency at which it is easiest for any object to oscillate or vibrate at. So every object has a natural frequency, and that natural frequency is dependent on the boundary conditions of that material. What is it made of? How big is it? How thick is it? Etc. A classic example of natural frequency is just looking at stringed instruments. So if you have a guitar string and you pluck that guitar string is going to vibrate at its natural frequency. It takes the least amount of energy to vibrate at that frequency, and it's just going to oscillate at that frequency, and we perceive it as a particular sound. Now you can change that natural frequency by changing the boundary conditions. So if you move your finger and you put it lower on the fretboard, you're making innately the string shorter. So when you pluck it, it's going to vibrate at a different natural frequency because we've changed the boundary condition. You can also change the boundary condition by changing the type of string. So if you have the same length of a guitar string versus like a bass string, the bass string is a lot thicker. So because it's thicker, it has a different natural frequency. Now, everything has a particular natural frequency that it wants to vibrate at. And that leads into a phenomenon called resonance. So let me move this down. So resonance is when you force an object to oscillate at its natural frequency. Now remember, the natural frequency of an object is the frequency that it's easiest to vibrate at. So if you force an object to vibrate at its natural frequency, it doesn't take a lot of energy to vibrate at that frequency. So any extra energy goes into creating large amplitudes of that vibration. So because it does not take a lot of energy, to vibrate at its natural frequency. Any extra energy causes the amplitude of vibration to be really large. So an example of something exhibiting resonance is when you go on a swing. So years ago, when someone taught you first how to go on a swing, you sit on that swing and you, on the end of that swing, you have a particular natural frequency. And so someone initially gives you that push, right? And you learn to, if you pump your legs back and forth at a particular rate, you go really, really high. You have a really, really big amplitude without putting in a whole lot of energy. So now get that visual of you on the swing, and you found that sweet spot of vibration, of you putting your legs back and forth, and you're going these really, really huge amplitudes. If all of a sudden you started vibrating your legs really quickly like that, that's not going to help you move. In fact, that is going to decrease the amplitude of oscillation because that's not matching the natural frequency of the swing. If the opposite were to occur, if you were having these huge amplitudes, so you found that sweet spot, and you're going back and forth, and your legs are going like this, and all of a sudden you decrease the rate and you go really slow. Again, you're not matching the natural frequency of the swing, and so your amplitude of oscillation is going to decrease greatly. So when you force an object to vibrate at its natural frequency, then that resonance is going to occur. Now, a common misconception is that plucking a guitar string or playing a stringed instrument is causing resonance to occur. That's not true. When you pluck a stringed instrument, you're just having it vibrate at its natural frequency. In order for resonance to occur in order for resonance to occur for a stringed instrument, you would have to pluck that string at its natural frequency. So let's say the natural frequency of a guitar string was like 256 hertz. That means you'd have to pluck it 256 times per second in order for resonance to occur. That's not going to happen. We do see resonance occurring with sound with tubes, and we'll talk about that more next week. But with stringed instruments, we're not working on the premise of resonance. We're just looking at the idea of natural frequency. So the video is now going to cut to an example of resonance occurring with the wine glass, where the frequency of sound is matching the resonant frequency of the wine glass. And it'll cause it to vibrate huge oscillations. And if any of you have ever seen the movie Miss Congeniality, where she's got all the different like wine glasses and they have different amounts of water, the different amounts of water changes the boundary condition. And so when she's rubbing it like this, she's forcing the wine glass to vibrate at its natural frequency, and we're seeing that resonance occur. Okay, so it's going to cut to that other video to show now.